or call the committee of whole to order at 6:31. I'd like to make a motion to approve the minutes of the committee of the whole
So moved.
held on May 21st, 2019. All those in favor? Aye. Motion passed. Number 3, discuss a resolution opposing the zoning map amendment to the Cook County zoning ordinance located at 18501 South Ridgeland Avenue. You gonna take that, Paula?
Yes, this came up rather quickly. We just heard about it late on Thursday. And we've had to deal with these kind of rezoning requests in the county. We had one down in Harlem not too long ago. We do have mile-and-a-half review rights. Anything within a mile and a half of our corporate boundaries, we do have the right to approve or not approve. People use different language. I was just talking to Patrick about it. Sometimes you file a letter of opposition, but at the very minimum, we can certainly review it and protest the request. If you look at the screen, if you see in red, these are the parcels that are owned by the individual that's requesting a rezoning. This is county rezoning. I don't want to mix it up with our zoning. They have an R4 zoning now, and they want to rezone it to an I1, which is their restricted industrial. The concern with that is, most of you are probably familiar with the Misty Pines subdivision that kind of surrounds the one smaller parcel A, and it's immediately north of B. Just to orient yourself, that's Ridgeland and 80, so if you know where you are. And when you look at the lists of uses that are permitted, not even special use, but are permitted in that district under that I1 zoning, you can see you've got machine shops, bars, live entertainment, automobile storage units, bus terminals. Those are all uses that would not take any kind of review, would only have to meet their performance standards and their bulk regulations, and that would be immediately adjacent to our residents. I have a letter also from the homeowners of Misty Pines that had expressed concern about this. Sorry, I meant to pass this out to you beforehand. And so what staff is recommending is that we file a letter of objection. Patrick, I don't know if he uses the same terminologies I have in other communities, what we call them legal objections. And then what that should do is push this vote into a supermajority.
Thank you, Paula.
At the county level. You don't get a great timeline, that's why it's kind of rushed. We brought it up to you today in the cow, and then we'd like to have it considered at board meeting immediately following. Special uses, there are special uses, but again, that takes extra scrutiny, but they're still allowed under the I-1. That includes the medical cannabis cultivation centers, hotels, motels, sewage treatment plants. So obviously, the adjacent neighbors are having some concerns about this. The area is, has a lot of floodplain on it, so we question how much they can develop on it. The village manager had asked me to look into this, a couple months ago for possible annexation. I did speak to the property owner, but he has billboards on the side, and we don't allow billboards. So I think this is his next thought of how we can make money off his property. That's it.
Any questions, anyone?
Paula, what was his intent in the letter? He said that I thought it was 4 billboards that he was.
What he had told our senior planner is he'd like to modernize his billboards into digital billboards.
Oh.
Kind of, if you've seen them out there, I don't know, we don't have really a picture of them. But again, our ordinance doesn't allow billboards.
Very good.
Okay. I'll make a motion then to move this resolution to the board.
So moved.
Got a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Number 4, discuss adding liquor video gaming licenses for the following. Dominic, you want to take this?
Sure, so real briefly, at our last COW meeting, just had an overall discussion about the board moving forward with.
You want to speak at one of the microphones?
So at our last COW meeting, had the discussion about the board looking at each individual request on a case-by-case basis, kind of the backlog of businesses that have been waiting for the board's direction about examining changes to liquor licenses or new liquor licenses that involve video gaming. So after that last cow meeting where the board indicated that it was ready to examine those requests on a case-by-case basis, we had 5 businesses that had been waiting, had full business proposals, just sort of explaining their rationale for applying and floor plans. Those 5 were sort of ready to go. So they've been, we put them forth on the agenda to be discussed, and I believe all the businesses are here, a representative from each of the businesses, should there be any questions from the board for each of the requests. And there's a few different, as we see in the, on the agenda, just the different classes for what they are, so that we can get into the intricacies of each of the classes as we go through, if there are any questions about the differentiating between AV, DV, EV, and so forth.
Okay, I guess we'll do Buffalo Wild Wings first.
Hi,
How you doing, sir?
Hi.
my name is Brad Freilich. I'm the owner-operator. I have 6 locations, actually, one in Frankfurt. And we were given permission by corporate to do a test store. And, we're constantly saying that everybody around us has the video gaming. Why don't we? And also one day, this corporate said, well, do a test. So they're allowing each one of us franchisees in the Chicago market to do a test. It could be 3 months, it could be a year, 2 years, we don't know. So I just requested just to do only Tinley Park at this point, see how it goes. Because at the beginning, I really wasn't thrilled about them. I didn't like the look of them. My wife hated the look of them. We do have a good spot in the corner of our bar. We'll put up a 4-foot wall. Can't go any higher than that 'cause be able to see who's in there at all times, because, just, all you need is a 19-year-old to slip in there. So we have to be able to keep track of it. And I think we have a pretty good program as far as keep track of liquor, so just one thing, one other extra eyeball on the gaming. 14 years we've been in the village, so I'd like to get a shot at it if I could.
And I believe, what day did you submit your request for this?
I think the letter was in January 16th. So I've been approved by the state already, so.
And then did you consider putting up a wall and a camera in that area?
Yeah, oh, yeah, cameras for sure, and a wall, and I have the materials ready to go, because we're gonna have a wall match all the.
But can you have the wall go up further if you've got a camera back there?
As far as Excel said that you lose sight of what somebody slipping in, a 19-year-old slipping in there, you could be able to visually see who's in there, and it's the bar, it's almost all 21, unless there's kids with parents. So we'll be able to keep an eye on it at a 4-foot wall. I mean, you go to a 6-foot wall, but then on 3 sides, you're only gonna have an entrance on one end. You won't be able to see what's in there. That first chair will actually, you could slip in there and be blocked. You wouldn't even know anybody's in there. So I think that Excel had a good idea when they said the 4 foot's good. It gives it enough to where you can still put an eye over there. Because, that's our concern is underage.
Yes, I personally, were you done?
Yeah.
Sorry. So you only want to do a 4-foot wall?
Yeah.
Yeah, 'cause we have other establishments, I forget, they've changed their names, Dottie's, Darla's, 183rd, what do they go by, Darla's?
Darla's.
I don't feel comfortable with it being in a family establishment unless it's in an enclosed room. We have other establishments that have it like that, where it's not in sight of the bar or staff. I believe, like Mike said, or Bill, they have cameras in there. Pat, you have to,
Yeah, the legal requirement in the act is that the entrance to the room be visible by at least 1 foot. The entrance to the,
Yeah, I've seen everything from, felt ropes to,
yeah.
there's other Buffalo Wilds that have done them that only have a 3-foot wall. So we could go up 6 foot and make it a room. It's, going up another 2 feet. It just will make it a little tougher to keep an eye on what's going on in there. And it's because we're gonna have the patio windows on one side and an exterior bathroom on the other, and then as the drawing shows. And then the east-west is gonna be a wall, so you'll have visibility from the bar, kind of by the bar corner. So it really blocks our ability to see what's going on in there.
Was it just our copy? I can't really tell from the drawing.
the copy was hard to read.
I couldn't see if it was by the patio.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that, it says patio, that's the north, and you see the patio entrance. Just as, top of the page, patio, it's patio doors right there. It says patio window, then there's an entrance. It's actually right in the, tucked right in the corner there. It's the farthest, it is the farthest point from the dining room too, and
What's the approximate height of a gaming machine?
I think they're about 5 or 6 feet, they range. They have them as low as maybe 4.5, I've seen.
Anyone else? Yeah, I'm not, sorry.
I think that Darla's has the cafe doors, so you could still see in there. Is that what you're talking, that one, Mike?
You can only see it if you walk around the front.
Right.
It's not visible from the kitchen or the register.
So will there be
I
doors?
haven't went to
on
other
yours?
other places to see what they have. I just,
Yeah.
I'm going by what Excel told me. It just, you know, it's new, it's an experiment, it's literally a test. They know they could be pulling the games out, and it could be, you know, like I told them, 3 months, you know, so they had the big investment up front.
No, I know.
I just gotta build a wall, you know, of whatever size,
Yeah,
doesn't matter.
we talked about that last cow. Most of the other people were here. We just, that's my opinion. I don't like them visible to, especially where there's kids. I like them in a sealed enclosed room. So I don't know.
Yeah. No, I agree. But Brad, real quick, I mean, I've been in your establishment several times. How many, like, what's your percentage of, you know, sales for alcohol versus food?
We're about 85% food,
Okay.
so, you know, could go, you know, the mix could change, but we rely mostly, and that's one of the better ones as far as, most of our stores are 90% food.
I'm with Trustee Glatz. I'd like to see it all the way enclosed as well. I think those look nicer in establishments, so, you know, I'd prefer it that way as well.
Gotcha.
Can you describe your, I think you have some procedures or policy in place there. Isn't it, is Fridays after a certain hour, in order to be in the bar area, you have to be 21 and older? I felt that there was
Anybody
some type
with
of policy.
a family or like, you know, somebody that's with a parent, there's no restriction at all. And, you know, anybody else is gonna sit in the dining room at any time. If it's, you know, you get 5 teenagers coming in, they're told they gotta go in the dining room. But with kids, there's no restriction, is, you know, as long as they're not running all over the place.
Is it an option to build a room instead of a 4-foot wall for your
A
request?
4-foot wall, or, I mean, you'd wanna cover the game and go to 6 foot. We don't need a ceiling in there. So it just takes that drawing of the wall, and I just add on 2 more pieces of marmoleum, and it's the same drawing. It's just a matter of how high do you want them.
Yeah, I mean,
I mean, it doesn't have to go up past the height of the game, and I think I'll find out
that's
what the
why I
height of
asked
the
you how
top.
high those they're typically at. I think the board should consider that, because I mean, if it's a request that you would consider in a room situation, it's unduly burdensome to the petitioner based upon different zoning or fire ordinance that they would have to comply with by enclosing the room, right? I would assume that would fall under that.
He keeps it open.
Yeah, no, if he were to enclose the room, though, it would definitely add.
Well, you might have to look at the sprinkler
Yeah.
distribution and all of that.
Yeah, there'd probably be no reason to put a ceiling in. I can't imagine what that would matter, but,
I'd like an 8-foot.
you know,
How
to
tall
block
is
the
the
game
ceiling?
totally, I think 7 foot would definitely do it. And I could find out requirements. I mean, if the tallest game they have is 7.5 feet, then we'll go 8. If it's 6 foot, then we'll go 6.5. I mean,
How tall's your ceiling, Brad?
ceilings are, I think, 18 to the deck.
Me personally, I'd like to actually get more information from Chief Reardon on that before we make a decision on it, instead of just winging it on what the requirements would do or change.
Require a sprinkler, tell you that. I just enclose a small space and they maybe read my sprinklers.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
If it's an open ceiling, it's fine.
Open ceiling, you don't have to.
It's such a high ceiling, too. I mean, I'd be,
Yeah, we'd have
I'd be
a-
good with the higher wall.
We'd go 18 foot
personally.
all the way up, but
Well, if you want, we could either vote on it now, or if you want to come back with a different plan, because with the plan presented, I'm personally not comfortable unless someone wants to make a motion to approve as is.
I'd go with the higher wall.
just, we could prove it as whatever height of wall you want. I mean,
So you can
the
amend your request.
footprint of, and I'm only going 3 games too, you're allowed to have 5.
So what-
So I'm just doing 3.
Why don't we do this
Increase.
until we find out more information? Actually, I'd like to go there and see it myself.
Sure.
Just postpone it maybe to the next cow. Yeah. There's another cow. We could postpone it till the next cow meeting in July. If that works.
Oh, I've been licensed since April, so I'm kind of, right at the bid, I got all the supplies waiting to go.
I'm sorry, Brad, but it's, it just came in front of us in June.
Yeah.
That's.
I realize, and I know there's a lot of
2 months,
places
it's not
like-
our- It's not on us.
There's a lot of places that don't have any wall, and I suppose you're trying to get away from that look also. Because, there's places you walk right in, first thing you see. And, that's absolutely the look that we don't want that at all. It's to have it in a corner, hidden best we can. And so, I would like to get, something where we could go. I mean, if it has to go all the way to the deck, and we say we go to 7 foot, and we say we have to go all the way to the deck, I can go all the way to the deck. It's just add on,
The
but,
problem is I don't want to commit to a footage on the wall until we actually know what we can and can't do.
and does that have to take till July to do that, or is that?
That'll be the next cow, it's July.
You could have it on a committee meeting instead of a cow.
Committee meeting's next week, admin and legal.
So I hate to lose, most of summer, and competition all around me has
The-
video gaming. Almost everybody around me,
Admin.
even next door, Pad Thai has it. So the place behind me,
Ask the Chairman if he'd have it on his committee.
It's up to him.
We could do it at the ed meeting. It's the 11th, right? Right.
Next Tuesday.
Help.
Would you be able to turn around your plans for by
By
Thursday or Friday of this week?
Thursday at
Yeah.
5 o'clock.
yeah, I mean, they're to scale, they're not done by an architect.
It is. It's June 18th.
And the plan, alls it is the footprint of the actual wall is the same. It's just, I could change it to 4 foot 5, 6, 7, 10 to the deck.
How much you go up.
Whatever you want to go up. That's,
width is
that's,
there.
yeah, the actual, where the 3 games are,
Are you okay with putting it on the committee?
Won't
for next week?
change.
Or do you want to wait until the following?
so the drawing would stay the same.
So you go ahead and ask him.
Yeah, so we'll make a motion to refer it to admin and legal next Tuesday.
Okay.
Have a second?
Second.
All's in favor?
Aye.
So
Thank
you'll-
you.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Tell him
Brad.
that. I'll catch him with you, sorry. He doesn't have to stay for the board meeting, that's all I'm saying.
Yeah, right.
If he's,
Yeah. Paul, you let him know he doesn't have to stay for the board meeting. He doesn't have to stay for the board meeting. This is getting
The
referred
board,
to,
the
this is
board
getting
agenda
referred to
item
next week.
will get postponed to the next meeting.
You don't have to stay.
Yeah, it's not gonna be voted on.
Man.
Give them some instruction about where.
It'll be, you have to, if you have your plans in by Thursday, we'll discuss it at next Tuesday's committee meeting under admin and legal, and then we'll have it on the board the following week.
Okay.
That make sense?
Yeah.
Yes.
So do I come to Tuesday's meeting too then?
Yes.
I would.
Okay. I'll find out.
Yeah.
Are you there all the time, Brad, or no?
Yeah, I'm around all the time, not particularly there.
All right,
I
I'll
can
try,
be there
I'm gonna
anytime.
try and stop in there.
Yeah, if you let me,
Paula, can you get his number, or
Yeah, I have-
Dominic?
I have it.
All right, thanks.
yeah.
B, Class A, V for Primal Cut Steakhouse. Paul?
I dropped off individual photographs and a very small footprint of the room. Couple different views that are on that drawing there. One is from the hostess stand. The other is looking down the hallway. It's going to be located at the door just before the 2 bathrooms. Once again, with myself, I mean, the last 2 years of me putting these machines in my establishment was always a yes, no, maybe so. I just didn't like the visibility of them, especially for some place like myself. However, the spot that we designated them for this time is going to be in a current office that's really not being utilized. It's not in the sight of path of anybody unless you walk to the bathroom. So any customer that comes into the restaurant, front door or rear door, it does not cross the path or the eyes of anybody, and as well as I will not have any signage with gaming anywhere on the exterior nor the interior of the restaurant.
Okay, Paul, are you doing all 5?
No, we're only doing 3.
It's 6 now.
It's a small spot there.
3, thank you.
There's gonna be 3, and then, whatever the cash machine, they put in, and that's it.
The cash machine.
And when did you put in your request?
Back in
January
January,
1st.
yes.
January 1st?
2019.
And then no signage outside, no signage inside?
There'll be
of-
absolutely no signage outside, no flags, no banners, no neon signs anywhere in my
Website?
restaurant whatsoever.
On the website, anything?
No. I will not advertise anything, do any marketing with those things. It's virtually, if you happen to walk back there and go to the bathroom and you see it, great, drop a 20 in. If not, like, again, it's not going to be the focus of the restaurant. However, based on, what these things bring in, it'll help, that's for sure. But I'm not counting it as a sole source of revenue for the restaurant.
Okay. And if you're gonna want a sign, you're gonna come back and ask, correct?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Anyone else have any questions?
Like I said, I preferred them to be closed off, so I think, the plans look good.
Like I said, there are no sighted path of the front door, the back door, and no patrons unless you walk back to the bathroom.
Is the room already built out?
It's just the picture, there's a picture in there of the office. It's it's all drywalled, and there's a desk in there, it's unfinished floor. It's more of a catch-all than anything, to be honest with you.
All right.
Will you have video cameras on it?
Yes.
Okay.
Anyone wanna make a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
So you'll be on the board, you'll be on the next agenda on the board meeting. You're welcome to stay for that if you'd
Okay,
like.
thank you, appreciate it.
Lost 3 burritos.
I don't own it. I'm a terminal operator for the state of Illinois, for the VGTs. She's not here. She's at a softball game with her family. We submitted some blueprints, I believe. If not, I brought some with me. She got passed by the state of Illinois in November of last year. And the state told us to put them in, and we didn't, because we wanted to go by your rules where she needed the V behind her license. When you say about the walls, I understand what you're saying, but the state of Illinois doesn't want the walls. They want it to be about 4 foot high for someone in the establishment could look in there to make sure there's no children. We were putting 2 7-foot walls, not in height, in length, and 1 10-foot wall, but they're going to be about 42 inches in height. Because they want someone in that restaurant to look and make sure there's no one under the age of 21 playing those games. And that's a state rule. I have 80-some locations. I actually have Darla's, and none of them have it like that. There's always somewhere where they could see. And Darla's, they have that wheel out there, and then you could come in, and someone's actually sitting there watching it. But an average business doesn't have the money to afford to have another employee sit there and watch who's playing their games.
And when did you guys submit for this request?
Maybe last July,
Last
because
July.
she got, the state accepted her as a legal person in November of 18.
It wasn't July. It wasn't July.
She will have video cameras.
Do we know, Dominic?
The letter from Florentino and Vanessa got forwarded over in the transition file, I believe. I can double check that.
It was when?
February, I can.
Yeah,
I can
it wasn't
double
July.
check. I can double check the exact date.
19.
February of this year?
I believe it was, yes, it was this year.
Are you guys willing to close that off?
I don't know how she'll do it, because it's in the front area where her glass windows are.
It's in the front by the windows?
By where, ma'am? Sir,
I'm sorry, it's just the plans are hard, for me at least, they're hard to read.
you see where the entrance door is? So that's all glass. So we were gonna cover the windows where they couldn't see from the outside. The back of the machines isn't something pretty to look at, it's just a piece of metal. So we were gonna put some kind of tint where you couldn't see from the exterior. But no, we weren't planning on putting walls. I mean, we show 42-inch for handicap accessibility into the gaming area.
Okay, well, for me personally, like we said to the last couple of guys, I'd like them to be enclosed.
So you're recommending a 7-foot-high wall?
I have to go in there and see if the prints were hard for me to see. If you want, we could postpone it and we can take a look at it. How high's your ceiling?
I'm not the owner, sir. I don't know.
That's-
I'm the terminal operator.
It's kind of a double ceiling. I know. It's probably closer to 12 or 15.
There's like one that's.
And then it pitches up, yeah. Yeah, they currently have alcohol.
Can you explain the DV, Pat,
Oh,
to everyone on the new members on the board?
Sure. So, we did, maybe about two years ago, the board, passed an amendment to their entire liquor code, and, what we did essentially is we created, a separate class, within each class. So we had, the class used to be A through S or whatever, Class A license, B license, C license, and, the various kinds of stores fit within those. We created a separate V license for each class, so now there's AV, BV, and things like that. What the V signifies is that they want video gaming. So without that, again, for the state requirements, they just need to be able to pour liquor. That's your local check on it. Without these V licenses, we wouldn't be having these meetings right now. So this gives you guys the opportunity to review it as you're doing, make sure it meets the standards of Tinley Park and what you want to see in those gaming rooms. So the V license, when somebody comes to request a V license, that gives the entire board the opportunity, whether you want to increase the number of AV, BV, whatever the case may be, to grant the license. So the V license, without those, they wouldn't be before this board, and you really couldn't even talk about video gaming. So it was a good decision by the board.
Well, we discussed this last meeting. Sorry you couldn't attend, but we really would, speaking for myself, would like them enclosed.
So there's no way she's gonna get, I mean, the state says put the machines in.
Well, it's illegal here in.
Well, yeah, I know, I spoke to your past gentleman last year about this.
Yeah. If you want, you can,
We're not gonna do
you
that.
could post, you're
Yeah.
not gonna do
Oh, I
what?
said, we're not gonna put the machines in. I said, the state said that, I'm not doing that. Yeah, so we could postpone what, I'm sorry.
I'll just pull a liquor license.
So if you want, we could postpone it till next week. You can get new plans, give us a chance to look at it, or we can just vote on it as is now. So it's up to you.
All right, we'll wait till the next meeting.
Okay, so, make a motion to defer it to, admin and legal next Tuesday.
Make a motion? I make the motion.
Get a second? All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Sure.
Thank you.
Do you have, Paula, can you talk to him, let him know, or Dominic, what he needs to do? Thanks.
Well, I don't know.
Pop's Italian Beef and Sausage.
Good evening, my name is Burke Mattias. I spoke last time, I didn't know I was coming up here last time, so. Today I'm a little more prepared. My concern as a small business owner is how to keep paying my employees with the minimum wage going up to $15 eventually, 4 or 5 years from now. I'm trying to keep my costs down, beating up vendors, doing whatever I can, still offering coupons and everything, text programs to people, keep the money down. Problem I have is down the road, if I don't do anything here or get supplemental income, it may be $10 hot dogs. No one's gonna buy $10 hot dogs. Some of the other pops are experimenting with the gaming or getting the liquor first. I've been one of the ones chosen that I could do one if it's approved. So what I was proposing, I do have a lottery machine in there, which, some people fought me on that in the beginning, thinking, oh, it's gonna take away from your restaurant, it's a family atmosphere. You'd be surprised how many people stop at that machine and just have fun with it. The employees have fun in downtime, that kind of thing. So what I was proposing for mine is off in the area like we spoke at the last meeting, keep it away. My front part, when you first walk in Pops, nobody sits there. I would love to have it right there, but that's something you see. The Thai restaurant, as soon as you walk in, you see it, it's a zip line. It's not proper. So what I'm proposing is back behind my counter where my Pepsi machine is, closing that area there, putting all the machines there. I'll put monitors up behind it too, so I'm usually standing right here. I'll be able to look over, see all the monitors, see what's going on, have my managers watch, whatever they need to do. But I just, I thought a couple of years ago when I first proposed this, I thought it was gonna be for fun. I didn't think I needed it. Now I think it's a necessity to stay alive. Because otherwise, there's just gonna be more vacant buildings, unfortunately. And, I'm in the fast food, I can't charge $20 for a plate. So I'm trying to figure out what else can I do.
So without it, you're not gonna make it?
I don't think so. I mean, I've been there for 10 years. I bought it personally 8.5 years ago from my partners. My partners wanted out. It wasn't doing that well. Knock on wood, turned it around. I have a 5-year extension, an option right now I'm looking into. But I'm also, if I get the gaming, I'm gonna sign a 6-year with 2 5-year contracts behind it. My scary part is $15 an hour. I don't know how you're gonna be able to do that. I have workers that have been there for years, so now I just gotta hire someone off the street at $15. That means my good guys are worth $20. I don't know how that's possible selling $3 hot dogs.
Just for the board's knowledge, Burke had come in about 2 years ago, if I remember correctly, and asked what the board would feel about gaming on that. I told him my reservations of it because of the idea that it's more of a family kind of fast food place. He's been fairly persistent as he's standing before you this evening, but this isn't just for video gaming, this would also be for a liquor license. They do not pour alcohol.
I think I chased Rob away. I was too persistent.
So,
I'll weather it.
it's a dual request. It's a liquor license as well as video gaming.
It's that EV, so EV
Correct.
signifies being able to pour beer and wine.
You guys have any questions?
Yeah, I do. To be quite honest, Burke, I was, in the same way. Like I said, family establishment, I was totally against it. I saw your plans, and I think it looks a lot better. Back in the store, it's kind of, from what it looks like it's totally out of sight, so. I was looking at this over the weekend, and I was pleasantly surprised, so.
I was even thinking about possibly going on the patio, if I had to. But the landlord said the concrete wasn't strong enough to support, plus be a lot of expenditure.
Right.
I'm sorry, I was asking Counselor Conley a question. Did you say this was gonna be enclosed?
Yes,
Yes.
Is there gonna be a door?
yes.
I don't like them in kids' establishments. The problem I have, or I feel for you, is you've been going at this for 2 years. I don't understand why, I wish we would have just brought it to the board and voted on it back then for you, yes or no. So, I don't know, whatever you guys want to do.
I feel, the horse is kind of out of the barn at this point. It's, we have other establishments that already have it. Competitive playing field for some of these guys is,
I
it's
agree.
a little difficult to kind of
I think we should move
pick and
forward.
choose who gets it now, so. Dominic, how many requests have we had? A lot of these requests are, from January of this year. How many have we had since May of 2017, do you know? We have a list of those?
Yeah, so there's a fuller list of the ones that have been approved, and they're all in the ordinances. The outstanding ones that have been sort of on hold, that have submitted full proposals with the floor plans and everything else, this is that list. There are other businesses who are in that, who have inquired but have not sent forth formal floor plans or everything else. So I can provide a full chronological timeline with you.
Okay.
on that, but-
Yeah, if you wouldn't mind, I'd
For sure.
appreciate that.
But these are the active ones that have submitted floor plans and business proposals.
Okay.
And there's been no movement on thus far.
I would also like to state too, I've been there for 10 years. I think I should deserve a little seniority over someone that's just coming into town. I've invested in you guys, now I'm needing help and asking you guys to invest in me.
That's where I kind of agree with you, Leonard. But go ahead, Counselor Conley, you want to say something?
Yeah, I'm sure you guys might be thinking, again, so Pops, this is significantly different kind of business than, what we've been seeing, the bars, the restaurants and things like that. So, what I've seen happen in other towns, once, you green light the first of a new business, there's gonna be more to follow. I think that's why this process you're undertaking, where you're reviewing each one on its own merits and how they're set up, and you're creating a record of that, is the correct way to do that. So there probably will be more of pops, like restaurants that come to you that want to pour alcohol and want licenses. So it's very important that you review the proposal, different, and if, this decision will not lock you into every, a yes or a no on every single decision of that business, as long as you look at each each proposal on its own merits, and that they're meeting the criteria you're looking for. So I just want to mention that.
I would like to, ask Patrick, is there any other options to help businesses? My concern with this is just what you said. Our town is gonna go from being known as the greatest place to raise a family to, blinking lights in every single establishment, McDonald's. I just see it all coming. For me, Vegas, 21 years old, you need to be around gaming. I am extremely concerned about young kids in these environments, and every one of our businesses is gonna have gaming to survive. And I totally feel for you as a business owner. I wanna help you. I don't wanna lose your business, but I wanna find out another option, not just to throw gaming in every single one of our establishments to try to keep our businesses from going under. I mean, for me, I don't like seeing it in a kid's place where I know my kids have hung out without me, where their friends go, where their groups of friends go. These are places where there's just kids. There's not gonna be parents with them, and it concerns me. And as soon as you open the door to this, it's all coming. So just keep in mind what our town looks like today and how it's gonna change if everybody gets it. I mean, we really have to think about how this is gonna affect families.
Brings up a good point. Were you planning on putting in signs?
That's up to you guys. If I can, I'd put some up, but if I can't, I'll go by the rules. I learned my lesson early on when I got Pops here. I was putting signs up all over, so. I know you guys don't like the blinking lights. I don't even, my open sign on blinking on 183rd, if you say no, no signs, no signs. I don't have much room for signs anyways.
So let me just globally address the video gaming signage question just briefly. It's a legal business in the state, it's legal in this town for gaming. The village cannot regulate signs based on content, so we can't say, you can put up a cheeseburger special, but you can't put the gaming one up. So the owners have a right to put those signs up as long as they comply with our sign code. I don't think we allow the blinky blinks.
I thought we could associate it with a license or trying to license.
No, not necessarily. No. But, I mean, you can certainly ask, but we legally cannot say you can't put that sign up. Things like that.
Yeah, I would prefer you wouldn't have a sign.
I'll go by the rules you guys set in place, I mean, if I have to. I mean, I understand what you're saying about, the family atmosphere and that. Unfortunately, it's everywhere you look now. Machines are going in everywhere. I don't think that's, people are looking down on the people. Mine is family and blue collar. I have the union shops behind me, all the industrial parks. People ask me all the time, are you getting machines? Why don't you have machines? I don't think it would ever take, trust me, the franchisor would tell me to take it away. If it ever looked bad on family or Pops, I'd be the first to hear about it, and he would tell me to shut them down.
Just in general, do we have some language somewhere, if there is a violation, if kids are caught in these rooms?
Oh, it's
Well, you have the entire.
state.
And you have the entire authority of the liquor.
Yeah, the liquor,
Suspend the license.
there you go.
Oh, there
There's
you go.
there's fines from the gaming
Okay,
board.
so
I'm
there
sure.
is something in place.
Oh, definitely. That's just on the gaming aspect of it, and then it would come to the liquor commissioner's office, and we could do whatever we wish.
Right.
You could revoke their liquor license, which would effectively, when they cannot have gaming. That's what the village.
Anyone want to make a motion one way or the other?
It's on the agenda this evening, so, you have three options. You're gonna consider it on your agenda one way or the other. I don't think we would just skip the item, so, I think you either move it up to the agenda, postpone it, or you can indicate your lack of support in committee committee, and then, but you will have another vote on
We
it.
have to vote on it
Yep.
either way.
Well, it's already enclosed. Mickey's is already serving beer and wine. So's Nick's. So I'll make a motion to move to the agenda for this evening.
Do you have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
So to move to the board next.
Appreciate it.
Last one, E, Class AV 1 for Union Bar and Grill.
I passed out the packets.
It's all right, you keep it. Joe, I got the phone right here. Thank you.
My name is Joe Colucci. The place that we are opening is called Union Bar and Grill. The gaming facility is in a private room. There's a drawing in the back of the packet that shows the actual drawing of the gaming room, which is completely enclosed with doors. The main reason for the gaming is just to compete with other places and for us.
Mr. Chairman, may I speak? Okay. Again, from the last meeting, not that it has much bearing on this particular request, but just a little history that this strip plaza has had a vacant restaurant in it for multiple years, the old San Fratello's. The board passed ordinances to allow for a anytime fitness. Go back a little bit further than that, we had discussions and negotiations with another restaurant in Tinley Park who was granted 2 licenses, one for their current establishment, and they were planning on opening in San Fratello's and since had pulled back from that. I know that Joe had stepped forward and shown interest in this particular parcel. So when it comes to and it's really not pertaining specific to this petitioner, but I wanted you guys to have some history. There has been some vacant building there. We have an opportunity to fill 2 with allowing for the liquor and gaming requests with Joe and his union bar.
Is this gonna be enclosed, Joe?
Completely enclosed.
And then when did you submit this request?
The applications were March, April, as well as the fingerprints.
And when?
The
Pardon me?
actual application to the town, I believe it was dropped off was in March, and then I got fingerprinted in end of March, early April.
Do you plan on having signs in the window
No.
for the gaming?
Whatever Tinley recommends is what I'll do.
Like you said earlier, we can't designate what you have to have. We're just asking if you would have it.
Yeah, the space that it's in the corner of the unit, the tanning salon that was previously there already have the windows completely tinted out on the far right of the mall. So, and it's drywalled on the inside. So currently, there would be no sign exposure on the area where it is currently. So the only thing it would probably have is a couple glass doors to enclose it, the drywall with a couple glass doors. Maybe you'd put private room or something like that, but no lights or nothing like that.
You had a question, Dan?
No, I mean, I think this, where you have the game room is in the front, but you're saying that there's a,
It's a 90-foot wide front, so that area is away from everything.
do you already own this building?
I already have the lease, yes.
You're
So
gonna
I
put a
have, I
camera?
have the keys, so I currently already have it.
You're gonna put a camera in there? Sorry.
Go ahead, Mike.
Pardon me?
Were you gonna put a camera in there?
Whatever you guys recommend, either way.
So is it a doorway or that dotted line's just kind of
There's
opening?
gonna be two doors there. 2 doors.
Gotcha.
Did you total all this up, Joe, or no?
It's over 500,000,
Okay.
so.
Anyone else have any questions?
Well, I think I'd like to comment what the mayor had said, that we had already gone through this with other owners, and I see no reason why we would deny someone else that's trying to get that
Not this location.
area, well, around the corner
Same
from it.
2015, so.
Yeah.
That's 4 years old, right? It
The-
says- Or did you just add the gaming?
The actual San Fratello's or,
Well, the plans say 2015 on them that we're looking
oh,
at.
from the tanning spot?
So,
Yeah, the strip mall's been vacant for a while.
Yeah, it's been vacant for a long time.
Right.
But this business has not been, this business was there 6 months ago. The tanning.
The tanning spot was there, yes. They closed it
Yeah,
July
that-
31st, I
right.
believe.
You know, and for me, this is I mean, this location, a bar is what I would be fine with for gaming. I don't have a problem with it in a 24, a 21 and older location.
Understood.
My issue is starting a business with it. You know, we have all these businesses in our town currently. We're gonna come probably for it once this all starts happening. And I just feel that we should, I'd like to see somebody survive a couple of years without it before we add game.
Care to share with the board what your monthly rent would be?
Monthly rent?
Your rent, your lease, what's your lease
The
payment?
rent payment is $5,100 to start, and then in year 20, it's close to 7. I think it's about 6,500.
And how many years is the lease?
It's a 20-year total, but it's a 5-year lease with three 5-year options. So it'd be either 20 years.
Joe, what are your projected sales for, as far as food and alcohol goes, percentages?
We're probably looking at about $1 million a year.
Would it split, though, your food versus alcohol?
Probably, I would say, I would think it would probably be 65 to 70% food is what I would think.
Okay.
I mean, based on the other places that exist.
Okay.
Any other questions?
No, just a comment, though, that as Diane mentioned, about not doing it in the beginning and so on and so forth, but that's the worst time. The first 3 or 5 years.
It's the hardest part.
Yeah, it can make or break a business, okay? It does happen, so I'm with you on this.
I appreciate it.
Okay, do I have a motion? Someone
Make a
want-
motion.
Second?
All those in favor?
aye.
Motion passes.
Thank you.
Welcome. 5, receive comments from the public. Anyone wish to address the committee of the whole?
Good evening. Just a really quick, while I can understand as a business owner wanting the video to help your business succeed, I think at some point, we're going to saturate our town. And I'm just asking this board to consider that moving forward. I'm not saying any of these businesses, they obviously, many of them have been waiting for quite some time for either denial or approval. I just think we need to look forward and look at the fact that at some point, putting more in is going to hurt the current businesses that have them. And barring the newspaper article that broke today, not considering what could possibly eventually come to Tinley Park, I don't think that affects any of that. But I just hope you guys would consider that there's going to be a saturation point, and no one wins. No pun intended on that, but at some point, we're going to need to put a moratorium on this, and I think sooner rather than later. And again, I understand as a business owner that these folks might possibly need help to stay in business or to gain momentum to keep their business, whatever it may be. But I think we already, to Trustee Galante's statement, we already opened the door with giving this to Mickey's and Nicky's, and I get the wall part of it, great. Again, I just think we're getting to the point where there's too many. So please, keep that in mind moving forward. Thanks.
Good point.
Thanks.
No other comment? I'd like to make a motion to adjourn the committee of the whole at 7:21. You have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Meeting adjourned.